Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Hashem Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and the bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us the truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. 144,000, one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel, and Brother Yahshua back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you all. We're going to start right here at Joel 2 and these locusts, which are missiles. And we'll start when I'm coming in the houses. Where's that at? Right here. Let's start here. These are those missiles. Joel 2 and 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways. And they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. Listen close. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses and the churches. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. Let's watch this. Amazing footage. 36 minutes ago, this is happening in Eastern Europe, right? Or Ukraine, whatever they want to call it. Russian ballistic missile strike kills dozens in Ukraine's Sumy officials say. 36, this is how real World War III is right now. Compared to hospitals and Gaza bombing. It's not a Russian problem. Don't organize large military assemblies in the middle of the city if you care about the civilian. World War III is popping. This is what it looks like. 36 minutes ago, this is ABC legacy media, mainstream media news.
Ukrainian officials say at least 34 people are dead. A missile attack on Sumy. This church's live stream on YouTube shows the congregation reacting as a large blast sounds outside, shaking the camera. You can see it shake there. You can see the smoke rising through.
She'll enter into the windows like this is crazy. So this is coming to Babylon the Great. You're going to be in church. Shit's going to start shaking. A great shaking.
Children after Russia launched a missile attack on Sumy. This church's live stream on YouTube shows the congregation reacting.
That's that real terror.
That's the explosion happening there. President
is
calling the attack terrible, suggesting Russia made a mistake. Now, European leaders are condemning the strikes and criticizing the US brokered agreement.
Yeah, Jacob's like this. I'm out, nigga. The devil is attacking me right now. I'm gonna let him go ahead and do his thing. So, yeah.
And he's basically told us now that the two ballistic missiles.
Oh, they're really attacking me. Come on, guys. You got to do better than that.
The northeast of Ukraine, near the border with Russia. Those two missiles were fired just about 2 minutes apart. Now, ballistic missiles, as you know, James, are very, very hard to shoot down from Ukraine's air defenses. And crucially, we know from Ukrainian officials that the second Russian missile had a cluster munition warhead. And that effectively means I've seen some of the remnants of these types of missiles in previous missile strikes earlier in the war. Basically, these missiles are packed full of massive chunks of metal.
In the war? Which war is that? Is that World War III? Is this World War III?
Which are basically sprayed across a wide area. So even if the Russians thought they were targeting some kind of military target, a concentration of troops, which they claim today, it is sure that they would have known that they would have had a high collateral civilian death toll firing those types of missiles at that time of the day on a Sunday morning right into the city center.
Right into the city. Hey, guess what? World War III, nigga.
Trump called the attack terrible yesterday. What do you make of that, and what does it say about the progress he's making to ending the war? I mean, is there any progress?
Well, as you know, James, very well. I mean, look, we've always thought this: ending the war, Russia's invasion of Ukraine was always a tall order for the president, right? I mean, his claim that he would do it in 24 hours looked, way off effectively from the word go. Now I think we're seeing, after weeks of efforts by the Trump administration, multiple visits by his envoy Steve Witkoff to Moscow. He was there on Friday, warm handshakes with Vladimir Putin. But despite all that, we're not seeing any indications from the Russians that they are willing to end the war. We've heard from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky now, and Western officials on briefings I've been on back this up, that Ukraine is willing to go for a full ceasefire and then negotiate other terms, like what security guarantees Ukraine would get in the future.
Peace and safety.
To go there yet. I mean, for Western officials, they believe that for the Russians, the war continues. Vladimir Putin is still committed to his maximalist goals in this war, and that is compromising the independence of Ukraine, bringing Ukraine effectively back into Russia's sphere of influence. It's really the driving reason why Vladimir Putin launched this war more than 3 years ago.
The Most High hardened his heart.
Seeing any progress at all. Quite the opposite. This attack in Sumy, this horrific attack yesterday in the middle of the morning, killing at least 34 people, is proof of exactly the opposite. That at the moment, despite all the Trump administration's efforts, there is no sign that we're moving towards anything that looks like a full ceasefire in Ukraine. Jay?
Peace and safety.
And Tom, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said,
this is terrible. All right, I guess we
from here, because we've got both men basically saying the other one doesn't want to stop the war. I mean, what has to be the first step on the route to peace?
Wars and rumors of war.
I think at the moment, James, like for the Russians, I think the bigger prize is normalization of relations with the US. And that seems to be, if you look at the comments coming out of the Kremlin at the moment, Dmitry Peskov, the spokesman for the Kremlin yesterday, effectively said that process to normalize relations with the US are going ahead well. I think
that's peace and safety.
Is what leverage Donald Trump has and what leverage he's willing to exert to actually bring the Russians to a point where they're willing to make meaningful concessions. Because we've had
concessions. Let's get that word. What you eat at the at the ball game. A thing that is granted, especially in response to demands. A thing conceded. Concessions. What was that? Concessions is negotiating. Okay, this is negotiation for what? A peaceful resolution, right? Defeat. Accepting something as true or acknowledging defeat. Concession. Okay? A thing that is granted, especially in response to demands. This is what's going on at the bargaining table. Okay? This is where diplomats go, and then they negotiators, like a hostage negotiator or whatever, right? They're in there fighting for their side, okay? To see who's going to win, if you will. So, what's going on here? If you're dealing with consent, they're at the table doing what? Let's just get this. Slovakia. Look at what you're doing. First Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, right? This is what they're saying. Nigga, how can we work? Can we work this shit out? We both done acted like white fools. We're about to blow up the whole earth if we can't come. But the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. Hardened Pharaoh's heart, we're going to get that. Those guys like this, I got to win. Nigga, I can't help it. I got the spirit of fucking triumph. I got to win, nigga. This motherfucker, but you're going to win us all to death. Yep, can't help it. Okay? That's what's going on. Let's finish this. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So what is about to happen here? That sudden destruction is the end. Sudden destruction is the beginning of what they're officially calling World War III, right? An official declaration, if you will. And then, closer and closer to what? The real end. Not my girl, Ricky Lee Jones. This goes Rev 11. This is the real end right here. The great earthquake. All right. Going back to those missiles. Revelation 11:13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake. That's those missiles. The 10th part of the city fell. That's America. In the earthquake were slain of men 7. Everybody died. The remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. Everybody except for those that ascended up to heaven in the cloud, they were happy as hell. They were celebrating in the chariot. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe, World War III, comes quickly. With that, we hope that the elect were edified, your brothers and few sisters. Shalom.